So first, before we dive into this episode, I want you all to know that I'm not one to dive into controversy. Except, of course, if it's on Facebook or Twitter, that's usually where I go to argue with people, but usually not in my episode. Just know that my opinions are my own and you are allowed to have a different opinion. This is America, we're allowed to think different things. And there's a possibility that I could be wrong about all of this, and I could have egg on my face at the end of this video. But what we really need right now in the conservative movement is unity. Somehow, we have to have unity. And with that, enjoy the episode. When I first saw the video of Charlie Kirk bleeding from his neck, I knew that he was gone. However, there was still just a little bit of hope inside of me that maybe, just maybe, he survived this terrible tragedy. Then Trump posted that he had passed away, and I realized that the conservative movement lost a really heavy hitter. But there was still hope though, because TPUSA was still there. They were going to pick up Charlie Kirk's torch and continue to press on and motivating people to vote conservative. And I honestly thought that this was going to be a turning point for the party, pun intended. The radical left shot and killed one of our own, and everyone on the conservative space was absolutely heartbroken. But this could have been an opportunity to use Charlie Kirk's life and legacy to promote what he valued. And at Charlie Kirk's funeral, the stadium was full of patriots that wanted to push Charlie Kirk's dream. That included his wife Erica and his wonderful children, along with many producers and people that Charlie was very close to. People who were trying to pick up the broken pieces of an empire who just lost their leader. And at first, it was incredible because everyone was on the same page. We started attacking people that were going after Charlie Kirk and saying, well, he deserved this. People that tarnished his legacy were sent out of their jobs, and we celebrated it. We were happy about it because they finally got what they deserved. You can't cheer on someone dying. People that tarnished his legacy were sent out of their jobs, and we all celebrated it. Why aren't we doing that anymore? Because this is still happening today, and it is disguised as just asking questions or is hidden behind conservatism. The person that is most responsible for the destruction of Charlie Kirk's legacy right now is Candace Owens, as she has gone totally off the deep end with some crazy theories on who actually killed Charlie Kirk. Like, well, the Jews did it because Charlie Kirk was stepping back from his pro-Israel message, even though that wasn't true. Oh, there was this trap door that was underneath the stage and somehow someone snuck a gun underneath and shot him. And then she started talking about how there were some Egyptian planes with the tail number of SUBTT that was in Utah and claimed that they were men in maroon shirts, which signals elite airborne operations. Wacky stuff. The craziest and wackiest one of them all was when she went on a full rant about some bee cult in Utah. Apparently, this cult was grooming the shooter to do this shooting. I don't know. It's all a bunch of wacky, crappy stuff. And she will constantly get on her show and say, oh, well, I have the receipts. I have the evidence. I have this. I have that. But then she never releases it. She never gives us any proof that any of this is actually real. It makes me believe that she is a liar, a manipulator, and sometimes even a scumbag. She has been talking about the assassination of Charlie Kirk for 3 months and has blamed everyone for his murder. I wouldn't be shocked if she came on her show tomorrow and said, well, guys, I'm the one who actually killed Charlie Kirk. I just found out about it. I was possessed by the Jews or the French government and I killed him, sorry. It is annoying that something so serious has been clouded with so much controversy and questions around every single corner. Oh, well, that man's hand moved, so that must mean that he actually killed Charlie Kirk. Oh, well, there was a person waving, which meant that the Russians were in on it. Like, so many different things. You watch so many videos and people are like, oh, well, that guy's hand moves. That means that he must have been the shooter, or he was in on it, or something like that. And it's just like, stop. Stop. We know what happened to Charlie, okay? We know. You don't have to do all of this crazy rambling stuff. We know what happened. Because right now, the murder of Charlie Kirk is becoming sort of a soap opera, a drama, a who's who, a murder mystery. And it shouldn't be that way. We can look at this shooting objectively and use Occam's razor, which is when a situation happens, the simplest outcome and the one that has the fewest assumptions is the best one to pick. The simplest answer to this situation is Tyler Robinson got on a roof and shot Charlie Kirk. And the simplest answer to this problem is that Tyler Robinson got on a roof, which he admitted to, and shot Charlie Kirk. Isn't that simple? No cults, no Jews, no B cults, no crazy things. A guy got a gun, got on a roof, shot Charlie Kirk. Done. That's it. That's the story. Sorry for all of you crazy people who want it to be filled with drama, but that's it. That's the story. And the original story is logical and not some fringe conspiracy theory. But Candace took it up a notch and is starting to blame TPUSA for their founder's murder. As Candace has claimed that TPUSA's inner circle turned against Charlie Kirk. And of course she claimed that she has evidence of this, but of course, once again, she hasn't released anything. She blames Charlie Kirk because apparently Charlie wanted to look at the finances and people in the company got scared that they were going to lose money from Israel or whatever. Because there was also apparently a conflict in the company about Charlie's support or non-support for Israel. So apparently money led to all of this happening and TPUSA paying someone to kill Charlie Kirk. Now if this is true, if this theory is true, then all of Candace's other theories are bunk. They're not true. It's like, which one is it? Was it a guy from a B cult that shot Charlie Kirk? Did TPUSA hire a plane to follow Erica Kirk? Like, what's going on here? She just keeps on coming up with theory after theory that just keeps on getting crazier and crazier. And people just follow along even though it doesn't have any logic or reason. She is also demanding that people stop giving money to TPUSA and is also demanding that TPUSA refund people's money back to them. So TPUSA hears about all of this crap and they get absolutely sick of it. They've been dealing with this for 3 months. They tried to ignore Candace, but it just kept happening and they kept getting questions and they finally had to address it. So that's what they did. As Turning Point USA finally responded, listing all of the things she has accused them of and trying to debunk them.
Candace has suggested the Utah Valley University event was unusual and its details suggested a, quote, inside job. She has claimed that foreign aircraft have followed Erica Kirk around the country and that Turning Point has lied about this happening. She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting Erica to take over for him if he died. She has suggested Charlie's security team intentionally denied him first aid after the shooting to ensure that he died. She has raised suspicions about the head of our technical team because he took an SD card out of a camera. She has spread absurd claims that Tyler Boyer, who we just had on the show, sexually abuses male interns. She has suggested that TPUSA faith-affiliated pastors, like theologian Frank Turek, who we'll have on in a moment, and Pastor Rob McCoy, are part of a military, quote, infiltration of Turning Point, either because they are veterans or because they have family members who are. Even if not everyone has been named specifically, though, Candace has effectively tarred everyone here with complicity in Charlie's death by repeatedly saying he was, quote, betrayed by, quote, everyone. She has said Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too for, quote, knowing the truth.
Now that is just a little taste of what they actually said. I didn't want to show the whole video, but it's a lot just in that little clip. Because he continues to go on and talks about the money and the theory that TPUSA wanted Charlie Kirk dead because he wanted to do an audit. And he also talked about the toll that was on TPUSA and claimed that people that were supporting Candace were worse than Antifa, which I think was a little bit of a stretch. Finally, at the end, the host asks Candace to come onto the show and they can talk about all of this and get everything straightened out so then we can finally stop talking about this and maybe have some unity.
Candace has mentioned several times that the ball is in our court. So here's what is going to happen. In the near future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and accusations, the false accusations that have been made against Charlie's family, friends, and the people here at Turning Point. We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court. Our motivation for doing this is not out of any obligation to Candace. It is about honoring Charlie. We feel a deep responsibility to protect his legacy, his work, and the truth. I feel that. I owe Charlie everything in my life. I feel it immensely. And that is why we feel compelled to speak clearly and openly now. We'll have more on this in the near future.
And here is Candace's response to the TPUSA invite for a debate.
Because I want to look you in the eye and I want to challenge you to lie to me. Because I care deeply about what happened to Charlie on that day. I don't think we're getting the truth. And I do believe that because you are not forthcoming about the information that you have, about Charlie texting you guys and saying that he thought he was going to be assassinated that very next day. Okay? The day that he died, Charlie knew, said he thinks he was going to be killed tomorrow, and you guys are sitting on that information. So I'm the right person. Yeah, I'm the right person to sit across from you and to ask you questions, right? Some things that you told me on that day, they're not adding up. I think the entire world would like to see this discussion. I think you can do it in Charlie's honor. You can pick the place, you can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll, okay? I don't care about any of that. I want it to be authentic. Like I said, you can take the money. We can raise money live for this conversation. That is how badly the world is demanding it. So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything. I fully accept. I say, let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. And my only ground rule is no assassinations. Okay? No assassinations, no funny business. You can't pretend you're going to do it and then Candace died in a mysterious accident. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Candace Owens is in. She's going to go down to Arizona and she's going to talk to Turning Point USA and they're going to get all of this figured out and it's going to be great. Oh, wait. Crap. She canceled. She canceled because of scheduling conflicts. You all saw the clip, right? Every single one of you saw the clip where she said, anytime, any place. Anytime, any place. Well, that time and that place was at 2 p.m. in Arizona, and guess what? She said no. After saying that she wanted to sit in front of TPUSA and call them liars and call them terrible people for killing Charlie Kirk, she said no. She backed out. Then I see people online who are saying, well, of course Candace doesn't want to go to TPUSA headquarters because they might shoot her too. Which I believe is absolutely stupid. Why would Turning Point do that? They want to have an honest conversation with her. She's destroying their company. They need to talk to her and get this all ironed out. TPUSA is willing to talk to Candace, bring her out to their show, and answer her questions, but she canceled because she is manipulative and wants to destroy Turning Point USA. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe she's angry at Turning Point USA for firing her when she worked with Charlie Kirk. Or maybe her and Charlie Kirk had a special relationship, and then he said, oh, I don't want to date you, I want to just be friends, and then she got mad and wants to burn down the whole company. I don't know. I'm just making things up that might be possibly what happened. It's all getting too ridiculous. The accusations are getting too outlandish, and it will tear the conservative movement apart if we don't stop this and join up together. Now, I will say once again, I could be wrong about everything, and I will make a new video if it comes out that she was right about everything. Because I am willing to change my mind if actual evidence comes out and we see, oh, well, there was a bee cult that actually killed Charlie Kirk. I didn't know that. But as of right now, I believe that Candace Owens has gone off the deep end, and once again, you can disagree with me if you want. We live in America. We live in a free country. But that is my opinion, and on this situation, I'm sticking to it. And also, make sure to stick around for the 200th episode of the Dockery Docket coming up on December 20th. It's gonna be a good one. And with that, I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.